Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and this is our brand new roof that we've got had put on professionally, and it's very nice because it keeps out the heat of the summer sun here in Arizona, and also keeps out the rain from the monsoon storms, and it's just really, really a nice roof. And so there's a story behind this, though, and I'd like to tell you that story if you've got a minute to listen. In the year 2020, starting in spring, my son decided we lived in the fifth wheel trailer on his property, and he decided to build an addition to his shop for us to have a place for our hobbies and to stretch out in and so forth. And he worked all summer on that. And then on August 20th of 2020, he was putting the roof on, and it wasn't finished, and we had a storm that night called a microcell, full of heavy wind, very strong wind, and lots of rain, and the roof wasn't finished yet, so what was there got totally destroyed. Not totally. There were still some pieces that he could use. He wanted the roof to be the same as the shop, so it just kind of continue on. So that was a disaster. So in the meantime, over the last 2 years, he has tried different solutions. He tried everything he tried was destroyed by the weather. That's unbelievable, but it's true. He tried roll-on roofing, and because of circumstances, when a heavy wind came up and just ripped it off. And then he tried the acrylic coating that you can put on, and before it was hardened, we had another heavy rainstorm, and it destroyed it. So finally, in spring of this year, of 2022, my wife and I decided to just do it commercially, and my wife and I started praying that we knew it was going to be very expensive, so we started praying that we would find the right roofer to get the best deal. And so I go for an e-bike ride every morning, and one morning as I was riding my e-bike, I came around the corner and was going up the road by the haystacks, and there was this trailer parked, and it looked very familiar because it's the same kind of trailer, a little bit ratty looking, and it was just parked along there. A guy was doing something, and I thought, well, are those people moving? Because I rode by it it was parked along the canal road on the route that I ride on my bike. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to backtrack. Instead of going on my normal ride, I'm going to backtrack on a path that I usually take, coming the opposite direction, and go see if that's the trailer, because apparently those folks are moving out. I've ridden by their house so many times, I just thought I'd stop and say hello or goodbye or whatever is going on. So anyway, I came around the corner, and there it was. It was still there. It was up there, still parked. And so it wasn't those people. They weren't the ones they weren't moving out. The trailer that I rode by this morning was totally different. And you can see that there was people living in that. So I decided, okay, maybe the guy with the trailer on the road is having trouble. So I decided I'd head back over there and see what was going on. So here I am coming back. Let's listen to the conversation as I drove up. Howdy.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, this damn hydraulic line is killing me. Hopefully we just get this over with and get it done, you know?
Yep.
I gotta get back to work and...
What do you do?
Roofing?
Oh, do you do roofing?
Yeah.
What kind of roofing?
Every kind of roofing. Ain't nothing I don't know about roofing. My dad is the second oldest in Arizona, so I kind of grew up into it.
So we found out that he was had been working with his brother and his dad on at a place called Arizona's Finest Roofing. And we decided that since we'd been praying and that just happened I just happened to ride by that guy, that we would check him out. And so the the problem was this was in I think June of 2022, just the beginning of monsoon season, and there had been a storm, which was one of the reasons we decided to just have it done commercially. And so the Arizona's Finest Roofing was backlogged with a whole lot of work. And then also, they couldn't do it during the monsoon season because what we chose to do was have it spray coated on, and it takes 4 different coatings. And so, they would have to have guaranteed good weather for several days. And you just can't do that during the monsoon season. But because it was monsoon season and we were having trouble with leaks and had to get the buckets out every time we had a rainstorm, they sent a guy over named Jesse. So weeks before they were going to do the roof, several weeks before, they sent Jesse over, and he actually had to show up 3 different times to make sure he got all the leaks. But they were kind enough to get it set up so that we didn't have to wait the weeks and weeks and weeks to finally get the holes patched in the roof. So he came over and 3 different times worked on the roof and got all the leaks patched. And so then finally later on they were able to come over and do the roof. All right, so here we go. Day 1. They showed up and they were ready to go to work. I was really impressed with this crew. As you will see in the video, they didn't waste a minute. Actually, on this particular day, that it was Thursday, the 22nd of September, and they had to put 2 coats on. The first coat would be the foam. If you've ever used a can of spray foam, it's kind of the same principle, but not. So they'll spray on this material, which foams, and then that sticks to the roof, makes excellent insulation and seals it. And then they put a coating. They end up putting 3 coatings on top of that coating, and so anyway, you'll see as we go along here. But the first coating is foam, which if it were to shoot over the edge of the roof and get on any of the vehicles, these are like antique vehicles that my son is restoring, and his daughter also. Anyway, it gets on there, then it sticks and it turns to a chunk of foam. So that's why they are covering everything. And when we first talked to them, I was kind of concerned because I thought, all right, are they going to cover everything up so that we don't spoil anything, because there's thousands of dollars worth of antiques sitting there. And as you can see, they did. They covered up everything. By the way, there goes my sweetheart. I don't know where I think she moved her car out to the front of the house. Now she's going to talk to the lady, and they were really nice people. Every one of them was enjoyable to talk to, and they were just a nice crew to have around. And you can see the roof there. That's where Jesse came in and fixed up, found the leaks, patched up the leaks weeks before this. He came over because this outfit, Arizona's Finest Roofing, had so much backlog that they couldn't start until September, and I don't remember when we called him. But anyway, so they sent over Jesse, and you can see where he went around and sealed up everything and stopped all the leaks. I thought, well, maybe we don't have to have these guys come. That one, I'm joking. Anyway, so as you can see, they're busy getting started and putting everything together. And like I said, it was a blessing And there goes my sweetheart again. I don't know what she's doing there now. But anyway, it was a blessing to have these people show up and be so friendly and so eager to work. In fact, there you can see down below there in the shadows, they're even covering up my son's engine lift. So I won't get anything on it. And then over by the fence there in the upper left, they covered up all of the yard art that my wife had laying out there. And then to make sure that everything was fine, they put that shield, that paper shield all the way around. So there they are spraying this material that turns into foam. And it roughly, I don't know if it's an inch deep or not, but it's really thick. And it's thick enough to do a nice job. So this was the first coat. And I really enjoyed watching them work. There's my granddaughter. She's going to go do something working on her car. And there I am standing down there videotaping and flying the drone. So they get to they finally have the foam all, the roof covered. And here they're patching up where people walked on it coming up and down off of the ladder. So that's very thoughtful. And they did a super nice job. I can't say anything but good things about them. And they were fun to watch, fun to have around. And there on the left, you can see my wife's yard art all covered up with plastic. So then they had later in the day, when that was the foam was hardened, then they put this second coat on, which is a protective coat, and it doesn't turn to foam, so the little bit of overspray isn't going to hurt anything over by the other side there. And then you'll see what they do to make sure that they don't spray anything below. He goes along the edge, and then that guy comes along with a paint roller, and does the edge with the paint roller. But anyway, so this is a protective coat. It's the first protective coat. They're going to actually put on 2 more after this. And so that's how they do it. Don't ask me what it is. I'm sure it's some kind of a polymer material. So here we are on day 2, which was Monday after the weekend, because they came before the weekend. So now it's Monday, and it's a different crew, totally different crew, but really nice guys. And they are gonna spray the third coat, and that's what their job is. And those are about 70 pounds a piece, those 5-gallon buckets. And these guys carry them all up the ladder. I used to be able to do that, believe it or not. I could carry a bundle of shingles up the ladder, all that kind of stuff, but not anymore. So here they are after their coating they're putting on this time is gray. Remember the first coat, the spray the spray foam, and then they covered it with white. And so this is the third coat, and the third coat for the roof, and it's gray. And I think they change colors so they make sure they don't miss a spot. But they did a good job, and he's coming around and finishing up, and then they'll go home for the day. But these guys were really nice. They some of them didn't speak English, from Mexico, and but that's all right. Somebody else interpreted for us if we needed it, which we really didn't. So anyway, now we're going to go to day 3. That was actually today, and I'm standing down there running my drone, and once again they're carrying up the materials that they're going to use to cover the roof. And this is going to be the 4th coat, which is just more protection. And then they after they get this coat put on, as you will see, they put some granules down that have a little sparkle to them, and that keeps the birds from pecking away at your roof. and they did I didn't put everything in the video that I filmed, but they were very meticulous about getting the corners and underneath the edges of things up there by the peak of the roof, and they did a really good job. The guy carrying the bag, that's the granules that they're going to spread on the roof after they do their last coat. And the second, let's see, this coat, which is the fourth coat, and the third coat, and the second coat, no, the first two coats were sprayed on, and then the second and the third and the fourth were rolled on with a paint roller. And what they're doing here is they're gonna that guy is pouring some paint in the little buckets, and they'll go along the edge and they'll paint the edges with that fourth coat, and that way the roller won't miss anything with the roller. I guess that's what I should say. So they went along all the edges and painted it on with a brush, and then they used the roller and just a regular old paint roller, and you can see them up there on the roof. It was also very windy, so I got a shot down here by the weather vane, and you can see the trees and their shirts. It was very windy on that day. But you can see they're up there rolling on the fourth coat, and then they would sprinkle that crystal and stuff, or those particles on the top of that after they rolled it on, and before it dried, they would throw, as you can see here, they would throw the granules into the paint, the wet paint, and then that's all the birds know. They see that, and they don't want to. they don't chew up your roof. So anyway, that's the long story. Hold everything. No, take a look up the top corner of the roof up there. It seems to be much whiter than the rest of it. Well, as it turned out, somebody picked the wrong color bucket or something, and after we looked at it the next day or so, we thought, well, we better contact them and see what's going on. So they sent a couple guys out and looked at it, and then they, instead of just patching up the part that was the wrong color, they decided to just recover the whole roof with the right color. So they sent some guys out, and this is day 4. It was unplanned, but it's day 4. And they came out and were kind enough to send out the guys on another day. It was a couple weeks later, but they came out after they got the right materials and started recoating the entire roof. So it was kind of like I said at the beginning of the video, my wife and I had been praying for the right company to do the roof, because it cost a bundle of money to have that foam roofing put on, and we wanted to make sure that it was done properly. So here they are on day 4, and putting it all, recovering everything. So I got up there with my drone, and you can see it. We're looking at it here, up in the upper right-hand corner. It's lighter there than it is everywhere else. And so that kind of, from the road, it kind of looked like a patch job. So they came out today, as a matter of fact. This was day 4, and brought some more buckets of coating. And it's not paint, it's a protective coating, and you can see that if you watch close, they put it on real thick. Watch as he puts his you see how he dips it in the bucket there, and makes sure that it's It's really put on thick. So they went through several buckets to make sure that they got the whole thing coated. And as it turned out, we have a brand new bright white roof. And so, like I said, it was like an answer to our prayers, because it didn't come with very little expense. It was pretty expensive. So I just can't say anything bad about Arizona's Finest Roofing. In previous videos between the time, I kind of thought, well, did it turn out right? But yes, it turned out right. And so we've got a new roof, and it's all the same color. It reflects the sunlight and keeps us cool in the summer, and it doesn't leak, and that was the main thing. So I can't say, if you need some roofing done, they're a good company to go with. So thank you for watching my video, and God bless.